Welcome to Mountain Life with Steve, and thank you for joining me for a visit to America's Super Park, Yellowstone National Park in northwestern Wyoming. Let's go ahead and get right into the summary. Yellowstone was both the nation's and the world's first national park, established in 1872 by Ulysses S. Grant, and it actually predates the entire National Park Service. It's a pretty busy park. It sees 3.3 million annual visitors, and as a result, you need to be patient after about 10 a.m. The park features 8 distinct regions with many different geological features, and we will go through a few of those in our 3-part video series here. The park is an extremely large park. It is larger than either Delaware and Rhode Island. However, it's only the second largest national park in the contiguous United States, and if you know which one's larger, let me know in the comments below. The weather in Yellowstone can be unpredictable, so you need to be prepared for cold weather pretty much any time of the year. It did get down to 20 degrees at night during my visit in September. There's a tremendous variety of wildlife, including grizzly and black bears, bison, elk, wolves, birds, all kinds of stuff, fish. Cell service is going to be non-existent within the park boundaries, and that's kind of a problem just because of the size of the park, so make sure you download all your maps and your itinerary beforehand. There is ample boondocking around the entrances to the park. However, that is a little bit of a problem because of the park size. It does take you a while to get to a boondocking spot. I would suggest a minimum of 3 days to see all the highlights of Yellowstone, but you could really spend 2 weeks up here very easily, if not more, and then of course combine it with Grand Teton, which is to the south, which we saw in a previous episode. This would make an amazing outdoors getaway. Recommendation: Yellowstone's an absolute no-brainer. I think it's a top 5 park in the contiguous United States. I would have it to be the number 1, but it's just the crowding, and the other park visitors tend to be a little bit more ridiculous than other national parks, so that I can't put it number 1 because of that. But it's an absolute bucket list park, and you should definitely visit, no questions whatsoever. Okay, and with that said, let's check out Old Faithful erupting. I really appreciate Old Faithful's punctuality there after what I've learned about geysers. So we'll continue around the Upper Geyser Basin Trail here. What I suggest when you roll up on Old Faithful is make sure you find a sign or you find a ranger to ask them when Old Faithful is expected to erupt next. As I was just walking up there, just walking amongst the park visitors, I heard 3 different times within about 10 feet. So make sure you find somebody official to find out when the next time it's going to erupt. With a lot of these geysers, they will have a sign out that says this is expected to erupt within this time frame. But this is a cool little trail. Also with Old Faithful, what I would suggest you do is, if it's like an hour before Old Faithful is expected to erupt, go ahead and go on this trail and then work your way back. And if you can manage it, there's an upper viewpoint for Old Faithful, which you can get a great overview of the eruption, and that's something I would definitely check out the next time I visit here. So as we all know, Yellowstone is famously located on top of a supervolcano, the Yellowstone supervolcano, and it is home to over half of all of the world's geysers. And this is basically a result of water intruding to the ground and then meeting with the magma hotspot, and then that's how you get these geysers. So as we look around the trail here, if you're enjoying this content, I'd appreciate it so much if you please give me a like, and please consider subscribing if you want to see more of these videos. So far I've been to 26 national parks, in addition to a bunch of national monuments and cities and all kinds of things, and so I have a ton more content that I'm working on to share with you. And please turn on the bell for notifications so you don't miss any videos. Thank you so much, and let's continue with the video. Okay, we're going to wrap things up here with the Upper Geyser Basin, and we're going to head over to the Middle Geyser Basin for the Grand Prismatic Spring. First, we have the Excelsior Geyser Crater, and I believe this might be hotter than the Grand Prismatic Spring because you only see blue. And basically, this is a geyser that is extinct now, and now it's just like a hot pool. And now we have the famous Grand Prismatic Spring. The colors there are microbacterial growth, and then as I mentioned, as you get to the center of the blue, there's no life there, so you just get the blue water, and that's what creates the amazing colors there. There is an overview of the Grand Prismatic Spring, and we'll see that on our final and third video of Yellowstone. And with that, we're going to go ahead and head out of the park. Got my first encounter with a bison here. And we'll see some elk here feeding in a meadow in the distance. And as we head out, we'll get a glimpse at a great sunset. So I pretty much boondocked on the west of the park, and so when I drove in the mornings to the east, I got great sunrises, and then when I left at nightfall, I got these great sunsets to look at on my drive out. I want to thank you so very much for joining me for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks and take care. Bye.